This week on Irish Bandit Revolution, my 5 returns as I count down my 5 all-time favorite anime movies. What's at number 1? Let's find out. Irish Bandit Revolution begins now. Welcome back to another edition of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope everyone is having a great week. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. This week on the show, my 5 returns. Last season, I did a my 5 of my 5 favorite anime series. This time around, I'm looking at 5 of my all-time favorite anime movies. These range from very bloody action to more heartfelt, heartwarming stories. And number 1 is just a complete mind trip, but we'll get into that eventually. Let's start it off with number 5. This one is the one I was talking about, which was just a completely bloody movie. Very gory, very violent, very graphic, and very good. We're talking about Ninja Scroll. Jubei, a highly skilled ninja, is coerced into slaying his own clan of warriors. After begrudgingly killing his fellow swordsman, he becomes a roving hired assassin. During his travels, he must face off against an organization of demonic ninjas known as the Devils of Kimon, who are plotting to take power of Japan's government. The Devils will stop at nothing and have the power to annihilate entire villages. Now only Jubei and his shogun spy named Dukan can stop them. I probably messed that up big time in the pronunciation of the name. But either way, the first time I watched Ninja Scroll was on Teletoon many, many years ago. Like, this was during the infancy of Teletoon. And I happened to switch it over, and it was during a sex scene. I'm like, can they really show this on Teletoon? Like, I thought this was a kids' network, and how wrong I was when they had different tiers of programming during the day. Like, in the early mornings, you had the kids' cartoons. In the afternoon, you had more teenish type cartoons, and then at night it was just adult programming. And I mean adult when I'm talking about Ninja Scroll. You had very violent tones in this movie, like blood everywhere. You had sex scenes. You had a naked woman rise up with snakes coming out of every orifice, and I do mean that. But I do remember about Ninja Scroll, it was very, very good. Like, a very good story throughout, excellent animation, and just something very, very amazing, which I didn't expect from anime. Because I wasn't too big into anime at this time. Like, I knew about it, and being an animation buff that I am, I definitely wanted to watch something that would interest me. And since then, I've expanded my horizons more when it comes to anime, watching Neon Genesis Evangelion, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun. I'm watching Samurai Champloo right now. I'm going to be getting into One Punch Man, Attack on Titan, Naruto. Just all the big, well, maybe not all the big names. Don't hate me for this, but I never really got into Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball Z, and I haven't really got into stuff like Inuyasha or Bleach. But I know of them, and I'm gonna get to Death Note eventually. But Ninja Scroll was really my first introduction into anime, and it's something that was very, very incredible to watch. With not just, with the violence and the sex and all that, but with the story and the animation. It was great animation, great story, pretty good voice acting along with it too. Can't complain about that. So that's why Ninja Scroll ranks so high up at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is the first of 3 Miyazaki movies. This one is just a total gem to watch with its beautiful animation, beautiful story. We're talking about My Neighbor Totoro at number 4. My Neighbor Totoro follows schoolgirl Setsuke and younger sister Mei as they settle into an old country house with their father and wait for their mother to recover from an illness in the area hospital. As the sisters explore their new home, they encounter and befriend playful spirits in their house and the nearby forest, most notably a massive, cuddly creature known as Totoro. This movie is just one of the finest examples of family cinema. Very, very lush visuals, a great voice acting cast to it, including real life sisters Dakota Fanning and Ellie Fanning, if we're talking about the American sub. And the visuals on it, like I said, are just amazing. You have the introduction of the cat bus, which I absolutely adored, which has been so parodied. Like, I'm playing The Simpsons Tapped Out on my phone, and one of the things you can get is Otto as the cat bus, which doesn't make sense, but makes perfect sense at the same time. But My Neighbor Totoro is just such a fun movie, imaginative movie, when you have someone like Miyazaki at the helm. Just beautifully done, sorry, beautifully done, and just a delight to watch. And it's one you can watch over and over again and never get tired of it. Another great Miyazaki film that we are talking about, it's My Neighbor Totoro is the first of three Miyazaki movies just in a row, bam, bam, bam. This next one, another great movie with a great story with it, and has Christian Bale as in the American sub as the lead character. At number 3, Howl's Moving Castle. Sophie has an uneventful life at her late father's hat shop, but all that changes when she befriends Wizard Howl, who lives in a magical flying castle. However, the evil Witch of Waste takes issue with their budding relationship and casts a spell on young Sophie, which ages her prematurely. Now Howl must use all his magical talents to battle the jealous hag and return Sophie to her former youth and beauty. Little fun fact about Howl's Moving Castle, it's the third highest grossing anime film of all time by worldwide gross, coming in at over $200 million made at box office. And I was just looking here, it's going to be showing on December 3rd in theaters, so that'll be fun to check out if it's showing near you. It's a great movie. Again, Miyazaki's talents and genius just shines through in this movie. You have just a wonderful leading character in Howl, like I said, in the American dub, portrayed by Christian Bale, best known as Batman. You also have Emily Mortimer as Sophie, and legendary actress Lauren Bacall as Witch of the Waste. This is such a colorful and intense movie that you just can't help but watch every second of it. And when the castle starts moving, that's like, wow, he does live in a moving castle. So that's really cool. So yes, another great Miyazaki film. I don't think Miyazaki has put out a bad film, but I haven't seen every film that he's made. I want to, but that just, there's just so many to choose from. I know he has one that's based on Little Mermaid that has Liam Neeson in it. How am I not watching that? How have I not seen that one yet? But either way, Howl's Moving Castle, fantastic movie, and definitely another one you should check out if you're a huge fan of anime. The final Miyazaki film on the list is probably his best known work. This one is an Academy Award winner. Just a fabulous, fabulous movie. One I absolutely adore, and I think is probably Miyazaki's best work. Of course, coming in at number 2, we're talking about Spirited Away. In Spirited Away, we meet 10-year-old Chiricho and her parents as they stumble upon a seemingly abandoned amusement park. After her mother and father are turned into giant pigs, yeah, that's kind of a mind trip, Chiricho meets the mysterious Haku, who explains that the park is a resort for supernatural beings who need a break from their time spent in the earthly realm, and that she must work there to free herself and her parents. This movie was such a turning point for anime. It is by far Miyazaki's finest movie. It won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature and won a whole bunch of other awards, including an Annie Award, Saturn Award, just a bunch of awards, and it's also the second highest grossing anime film of all time by worldwide gross, coming just under $300 million made at the box office, which tops more than what Howl's Moving Castle did. This movie absolutely blew me away with its story, with its characters. The animation in this movie is just lush and beautiful to watch. It is definitely a treat. And if you haven't seen it, even if you're not an anime fan, if you're a movie fan by any stretch of the imagination, you owe it to yourself to watch this movie. It is just beautiful. I can't stress that enough. This movie is just beautiful to watch. Has a moving story behind it. When you get into the relationship between Chiricho and Haku, and then you have a giant baby in it. Yes, it's a 10-foot tall baby. I can't make this stuff up. You just have to watch it for yourself. It is a fantastic movie. Alright, well, here we are at number one. Before we get into number one, though, a little different thing we're going to do here. Yes, I'm going to get into the honorable mentions, but I'm going to get more into them on Thursday in Irish Bandit Extra. So, just quickly, here are the honorable mentions. So here it is, without further ado, my number one favorite anime film of all time. This goes out to the 1988 classic, and I do mean classic, in Akira. In 1988, the Japanese government drops an atomic bomb on Tokyo after ESP experiments on children go awry. In 2019, 31 years after the nuking of the city, Kaneda, a bike gang leader, tries to save his friend Tetsuo from a secret government project. He battles anti-government activists, greedy politicians, irresponsible scientists, and a powerful military leader until Tetsuo's supernatural powers suddenly manifest. A final battle is fought in Tokyo Olympiad, exposing the experiment's secrets. This is just a mind-blowing film from beginning to end. You have, like, in the very beginning of the movie, you have this awesome chase sequence through the streets of Neo Tokyo on motorcycles with Kaneda's bike gang against a clown gang. Yeah, clown gang. If you don't like clowns, you're probably not going to like that part of the movie. But then it goes on where you follow Tetsuo and his story arc about everything that happens to him. And you see his powers manifest and get worse and worse as time goes on, until he can't control his powers anymore, and he just turns into this anamorphic blob. This is the best way you can describe it. Akira was such a shift from that time, because you had a lot of other movies come out at that point, but Akira was such a landmark movie, and it did that cultural flip on you. And it is just beautiful to behold. From the animation aspect to the story is engaging and compelling. The most recent voice acting, I have the newest dub of it, and it's fantastic. You have Johnny Young Bosch as Kaneda. Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch, Adam the Black Ranger from Power Rangers, Green Ranger in Power Rangers Zeo, and he voiced Vash the Stampede on Trigun. So he has a legitimate voice acting pedigree behind him. He does a wonderful job as Kaneda. And this movie is just... You'll have to watch it more than once to totally understand it. It is so mind-bending and boggling that you're going to be saying, what the F a lot. Like, no joke. I've seen it quite a few times, and I still say that every time I watch it. It's like, whoa, man. This is such a mind-bender of a movie. And you know something is culturally relevant when South Park does a parody of it. And they did that a few seasons. Like, I think their very first or second season. They had a huge send-up of Akira. So it's probably easy to say that Matt Parker and Trey Stone are huge Akira fans if they're parodying that for South Park. So, but definitely Akira is one to watch. If you watch any of these movies, I highly recommend Akira. I will say this, that Ninja Scroll and Akira, not so much for kids, so you may want to have some discretion watching those. But the three Miyazaki films definitely are family friendly, and you can just sit down with your entire family and watch all of them. They're just perfect family viewing, and I love all five of these movies, and the honorable mentions as well. I can't forget those. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate that. What is your favorite anime movie? Let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. Over my shoulder right here, you're going to see a link to last week's episode where I'm ranking all 4 seasons of My Name is Earl. Quick side note, I usually forget what the last week's episode was, so it's really impressive that I've remembered this week. So don't forget, down in the description box below, you'll see a link to the Irish Bandit shop where you can pick up all your Irish Bandit merchandise. We have stickers, we have t-shirts, we have leggings, we have coffee mugs, travel mugs, we have phone cases for Galaxy, yeah, Samsung phones, we have iPhones. We now include iPhone X, iPhone 10, iPhone X, whatever you want to call it. But link down below for the Irish Bandit shop. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, don't forget to tap that bell, and you'll be notified whenever I upload anything new. Boy, my tongue does not want to work today. Okay. Quick programming notes coming up. This Thursday, Irish Bandit Extra will return where I'll get more into depth about the honorable mentions of this week's episode. Friday is going to see a new edition of High Five. Still haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, but I'll decide before Friday. And then next week is the big day. Irish Bandit Revolution live as we do the State of the Channel address. Yes, it's the other season. It's the 5th episode. So we're going to be doing the State of the Channel address, only this time we're going to be doing it live, and I can't wait to talk to all of you guys who decide to show up. And if you don't get to watch the live episode, there will be the video will be up later on, so you can view it at your leisure anytime. So if you didn't make the live viewing, don't be upset. You'll be covered to watch the episode. All right, well, that wraps up for this week's episode, guys. Have a great week, and I will see you again next week for the live Irish Bandit Revolution. I'm the Bandit, and I'm out of here. Take care.